Hidden in the basalt cliffs of Maharashtra, carved in a horseshoe curve above the Vaghora River, lies a masterpiece of ancient India, known to the world as Ajanta Caves. Hidden for centuries by forest and time, the caves returned to wider notice in 1819 when a British Army officer, John Smith, came across them during a hunting expedition. Along the passages, the cliff feels almost like a stone street. Each opening leads to a different cave and a different chapter of Ajanta's history. Ajanta is one of those places where art, faith, and silence come together beautifully. Cave 19, one of the most elaborate cave temples at Ajanta, designed as a chaitya commissioned by a local ruler named Upendra Gupta. Cave 19 is celebrated for its rich carving and dramatic architecture. The space leads the eye toward the main focus of the hall, the central Buddha, with a standing Buddha figure adding a powerful presence to the shrine. Inside, the grandeur continues with impressive carved pillars, many dotted with Buddha images. In Cave 19, Ajanta's artists combine architecture, sculpture, and devotion into a single experience, carved not as a decoration alone but as a complete space for worship. Along with its carvings, Cave 19 preserves faint traces of ancient paintings on the ceiling and upper walls. Though much has faded, the remaining colors hint at how richly painted the hall once was. What makes Ajanta special is that it shows two important phases of Buddhism, Hinayana and Mahayana. In the Hinayana phase, Buddha appears through symbols. Cave 9's facade is simple and direct. A plain arched window and clean rock cut lines, focusing attention on the prayer hall inside. A straightforward prayer space where the shape of the hall and the stupa are the main focus. Later, in the Mahayana phase, Buddha appears in human form through the stories painted on the walls. And the storytelling continues outside as well. Alongside the murals, the facades are richly carved. Cave 1 is one of Ajanta's finest Mahayana monasteries. Buddha appears in Dharmachakra posture, but Cave 1 is remembered most for its paintings. Among the great masterpieces here are the Bodhisattvas. Padmapani, the lotus-bearing Bodhisattva, embodies compassion, the lotus symbolizing purity and the promise of enlightenment. Vajrapani, holding the Vajra, embodies strength and protection, symbolizing the unbreakable power of the Buddha's teachings. Here, stone becomes presence. Buddha figures emerge from pillars and sanctums, serene, still, and powerful. In every posture, the message is the same: calm mind, compassion, and the path to awakening. The Naga king appears as a guardian figure, protecting the Buddha and the sacred space. Along the cliff, Ajanta shifts from the unfinished spaces of Cave 5 to richly carved facade guardian figures at the entrances, and then opens out into scale of Cave 4, one of the largest monasteries built around. Cave 16 introduces Ajanta's world with quiet grandeur. Even the carved elephant figures feels like a symbol of strength and presence at the threshold. Deeper inside the complex, the focus turns to painting. In caves like 1, 6, and 7, the walls and ceilings become storytellers. Layered with scenes from the Buddha's life and Jataka tales, framed by decorative patterns that once covered almost every surface. Alongside the murals, stone images of Buddha appear in different postures and gestures. Together, these paintings and idols create Ajanta's signature experience, devotion expressed through art. Here, Mahajanaka Jataka unfolds like a royal drama on the wall. A prince tested by loss and danger who returns to power and finally turns away from it in search of peace. Cave 17 is one of Ajanta's richest painted caves, a space where the walls and ceilings turn into a continuous gallery of stories. High on cliff, Cave 21 blends fine carving with quiet devotion. A pillared hall leading to a Dharmachakra Buddha flanked by Bodhisattvas with faint teaching scenes still visible. Cave 23 and 24 are late unfinished viharas at Ajanta, and they reveal the excavation process itself. Cave 23 hints at its intended grandeur through partial carving and incomplete cells. Cave 24, the second largest excavation here, shows richly carved porch pillars beside raw unfinished rock. A clear reminder that work stopped before these caves were completed. Cave 26 deserves time. I covered it closely and slowly, so the carvings and the atmosphere come through as if you were standing here yourself. Inside K26, the hall is defined by its pillars. From every angle, they form a measured rhythm, guiding movement and shaping the space like a processional route. Pillars one after another, seen from different angles, they turn the hall into a corridor of stone. This is the focal point of the Chaitya hall. The place, the pillars, and carvings were designed to lead toward. The Buddha stands before the stupa, he is calm and steady, framed by the architecture like a sacred stage. A single image holding an entire space in silence. The side panels of Ajanta Cave 26 hold some of the most dramatic sculpture in the entire site. Unlike many earlier caves where painting dominates, this Mahayana Chaitya Hall is a masterpiece of rock-cut carving, turning the side passage into a continuous stone gallery. These side panel figures in K26 are carved with remarkable detail, elaborate hairstyles, heavy jewelry, layered garments, and distinct expressions. Beyond their religious meaning, they also preserve a glimpse of Ajanta's world. Here lies the Buddha in Mahaparinirvana, his final moment captured in stone. The world around him mounts, but his expressions remains unchanged, peaceful and steady. The surrounding carvings speak of loss, but he remains peaceful and unshaken. It's carved as silence, and that silence stays with us. feels alive. These paintings, these caves, and the silence. This is Ajanta, art, faith, and time held together in one living cliff. The day ends, the cliff darkens again. Ajanta closes like a chapter, quiet, timeless, unforgettable. It's often said Ellora begins where Ajanta ends, and that journey continues in my Ellora log. To continue to Ellora, use the link on the screen or the one in the description.